And so, can you elaborate a bit on the decision to start selling hand sanitizer? Did you have to invest in additional equipment or just reuse the equipment you already had for maple syrup production?
So yeah, we already had the still and everything like that for the distilled spirits, a beverage, spirits, on the end of it, and that basically made the alcohol for the sanitizer. In terms of equipment, we kind of adapted what we had in terms of maple syrup and bottling and all sorts of things like that to basically acquire what we needed to make this hand sanitizer. There's different, we have like graduated cylinders and different things like that that we use for syrup and to test sugar and hydrometers and stuff like that. I would have never guessed we would have used any of that to make hand sanitizer, but it took a lot of precise measuring and different things like that. So we didn't invest in a ton of new equipment. There were a few things. There was a pump that we bought to move the alcohol and measure it better. It's an electronic pump. We bought something like that. And there was some drums and stuff that we had to buy. But other than that, we were pretty fortunate and used what we had to adapt to making hand sanitizer.
Mm-hmm. And so, what percent of your operations do you think are divided up into hand sanitizer as opposed to maple products and maple syrup right now?
As of right now, so things have slowed down a good amount for us now. We're sitting in the middle of July.
Hmm.
I would say right now we've moved back to the spirits end of it, and that's just because during the time of COVID and everything like that, we had so much downtime. You can't really do anything else, so all we did was stockpile hand sanitizer. Like I said, we had tens of thousands of bottles. We had thousands of gallons that we have bottled, and it's one of those things that we hit hard and we hit really hard at the right time. And I've supplied pharmacies and different stores and stuff like that, and it's been tremendous the support we've had. We've tried to support our local communities and stuff like that. That's kind of where the idea first came about. But
Hmm.
yeah, from there on out, it's starting to go back to normal at least now. But at the time when we were making the hand sanitizer, it was almost 100% of our time. We were done making syrup for the year. Like I said, we had a short season, just a month this year, but we kind of transitioned straight into sanitizer, and it just took off.
Hmm. And so, when most people think of hand sanitizer, they think of small, personal use bottles. But you're talking about gallons here. So, are you supplying mainly to businesses instead of individual consumers?
So there's a little bit of both. These smaller bottles that I'm talking about, that 9,000, 10,000 quantity. We had 2 ounce, we've had 4 ounce, we've had some smaller personal bottles, and that was our initial goal. I would have never thought we would have sold it in gallons either. Um, but our initial goal was to help out our local communities and staying safe, and local people like Hormel Foods in Austin, stuff like that. We donated over $9,000 worth of hand sanitizer to them. Um, so that was our initial thought. And then I had a few businesses reach out, stating that they would want like a gallon size, to use for customers and their employees and stuff like that. So we kind of just tinkered with it a little bit. We're like, okay, we'll order 100-gallon jugs and we'll try it that way. Well, as more people heard about it, word of mouth was our biggest advertising we needed, and we ended up selling several pallets of gallon jugs. So we've tried to adapt to that, and just recently, we found things like pumps and stuff to make it more convenient to use the gallons. So it's been a little bit of hodgepodge of everything, but we've been adapting well, I feel like, and it's been quite the experience.
Hmm. And so, you mentioned you're selling on your website and on Facebook, but are you doing any marketing on Facebook or Google, or how do people learn about you if not word of mouth?
Um, well, our number one is word of mouth, but yeah, we have done a little bit of marketing through Facebook. We've had, like I mentioned, we donated $9,000 worth of sanitizer to Hormel Foods in Austin, and we posted that on Facebook with our flyer and stuff like that. And we just paid a little bit of money for Facebook to market it for us, and
Mhm.
it blew up. A lot of people shared it, commented, liked it. If you look at the time when we did that, our
Mhm.
Etsy and Facebook and our website, it just went through the roof. People were reaching out like crazy,
Mhm.
hearing about the product, and stuff like that. So in terms of going out there and marketing that, I have our regular customers for maple syrup and stuff like that that I tried to keep healthy. And I reached out to some other people, Sterling Pharmacy, based out of Austin.
Mhm.
I have been their main supplier since COVID started for hand sanitizer. Um, so that was a family friend that we talked to, and he was all for it. There's like PepsiCo out of Rochester, we supplied them with all their hand sanitizer during COVID. Like I said, Hormel Foods. So we've reached out to some bigger businesses, but we also, our thought was the smaller businesses in our local area. So Heimer Foods here in Adams, our local lumber yard, local liquor stores, stuff like that. We tried to supply. And I'm a volunteer firefighter and volunteer EMT also on the ambulance, and we donated to our local fire department ambulance along with all law enforcement in our county to try to keep them safe. So a lot of donations went into it to kind of really back our idea of the whole hand sanitizer business. But from that, it's been, I guess, one of our bigger marketing strategies is just word of mouth. Oh, hey, he gave this kind of thing. So it's been
Mhm.
good.